What's going on, my friends? Chris here. I want to bring you on an update today on Litecoin. Right now, we're sitting at $346. We're up 13%. It's just a beautiful move for Litecoin here. Main area that we're running into now is the main overhead resistance area I want to see us punch through. This is a critical area. This is going to be around $340. Now, what you can see is that was basically our previous high, not including these wicks up here. To the wick, we're looking at about $420. So if we're able to break up through this $346 and have a daily candle close up above it, I would look up to around that $400 to $420 would be the next overhead resistance. But this is a very important area for us. If we take a look, the relative strength's at 74 right now. Typically when we have pretty big sell-offs, we'll get up to around 80 to 85 on the relative strength. We can get as high as roughly, and this was in 2017, we got up to about 95 on the relative strength. So just so you know here, we definitely still have more room. If Bitcoin wants to cooperate and not have a big dump, you know, Litecoin has the potential to go up to some higher areas, potentially back test this $340 and then make some stronger moves to the upside. But one main thing that I wanted to point out for Litecoin here, how different this is. So last time what you saw when we had this blow off top, do you see how we basically went from about $100 up to that $400 and it was just a straight vertical line? We haven't had that. We've gotten to this 346 and we've been in a relatively nice healthy trend. We haven't had that big blow off top yet. So that's where things are different here, guys. And if we can get over top of some of these areas, then we'll have those blue sky breakouts, that price discovery. And that's what I believe could drive Litecoin up to some of those higher levels like $500 to $1,000 this market cycle. And also, guys, if you believe that as well, let me know down low and give me your price projection on Litecoin. Like I told you, I think, you know, if we underperform, I believe $500 would be the range for Litecoin. If we do about what I think we'll do, it will be close to that $1,000. And you can see my line up here at 998. I'm also going to put an alert up there. And then if we overperform, I believe to that $1,500, $2,000 range. But, you know, guys, we have to take price action as it comes. And that's what I like to do in this space. I like to take advantage of these big swings. But right now for Litecoin, you can see we're at that critical area, guys. We're trading up above our 20. EMA looking good there. Trading up above our 50. Our 100 and our 200. So say today at this 340, because we always like to do the bullish side and we also like to do the bearish side as well. And guys, also, let's see if we can get 500 likes on this video. If you guys really like Litecoin, you think it should be a top 5, smash that like button for me. And, you know, the highest we ever got was around 700, I think 750, 800 likes of all the videos I've ever done. So if you like Litecoin, smash it up and let's see if we can get to that 500. But the downside for Litecoin here, what I want to point out, if we zoom in to these candles, so if we have a lot of rejection here in a really long wick, what I would look to do is see if we could hold 310 as support. If we're not able to hold that, I would look down to that 20 EMA, and that'd be around 271. So those are going to be the support areas that we're looking at. $300, then it's going to be around roughly that 271 are going to be the two areas that I'm watching. Because typically when we break through this overhead resistance like we did, we want to find support off that before we potentially end up going higher. But, you know, guys, we've got to hear for a long time people making fun of Litecoin, and a lot of those people have went away. This is what we've talked about. When it runs, it's one of the most fun coins to trade, in my opinion. And to what we're looking at here with the relative strength at 74, we have also had a MACD cross, and you can see the histogram ticking to the positive. And what we did in the last video, we were basically taking these moves to the upside, these impulse waves that we're having to the upside, and we were adding them to the top. And what we did, we went up about 117% from this bottom. And this was just an average for us. So if we did something similar to that, the next higher high would put us potentially around that $450 if we can get there. And that would be very exciting for Litecoin, guys. $450 for Litecoin. I mean, many people, if you've been here with me all this time and you remember me talking about Litecoin back in the 40s here, guys, congratulations. That's all I have to say. You've been here a long time with me. We've really ridden this trend. And now, obviously, I hope you're reaping some benefits from that. If we get into the technicals for Litecoin, we take a look here. We have a 0 sell, a 10 neutral, and a 16 buy, and this can be on the 1-day time frame. Oscillator 0 sell, 9 neutral, and a 2 buy. Moving averages 0 sell, 1 neutral, and a 14 buy is what we're looking at. They're very neutral all around, which is a good thing for us. Momentum's going to be a buy. MACD level is going to be a buy. All the moving averages are looking really nice here. We're up above the 10, the 20, the 30, the 50, the 100, and the 200. So looking really nice there. The next thing I wanted to get into was LTC BTC. So let's type this up here. See if we can get a good chart for it. So let's take a look at Coinbase. Okay, so guys, like we've talked about, really straight pulls for Litecoin. And you can see this really big move. The main thing that was giving it off for me was the heavier volume that was coming in, but also we're getting some really nice crosses here. This is something that has not happened, let's see, to the upside roughly since March 3rd, 2019 was the last time we had the 100 cross up through the 200. Just looking at this now, once we had this cross back in here, the 100 down through the 200, we just were pushed immensely to the downside. So you can see how early it is for the LTC, BTC here, guys. We potentially could get this 100 cross over the 200. That nice golden cross there. You can see the 50 is crossed through the 200. So that's a golden cross there. We're trading up above our 20 EMA. Next overhead resistance we look at is to right about where we're at, that 0.0063. And then it's going to be up to around 0.006958 are going to be the areas that we're looking for. But we're really trying to reverse this. Litecoin at one point had been all the way up to around that 0.025 of a Bitcoin. So we could still have a lot of room to run here for the LTC BTC chart. If we take a look for the technicals on the 1 day time frame, we have a 2 sell 8 neutral and a 16 buy. Oscillators 2 sell 7 neutral and a 2 buy. And then the moving average is 0 sell 1 neutral and a 14 buy. Relative strength is up around 80 here, guys. So I wanted to point that out. Remember, at any time we get up above 80 or whatever, we always start to use those trailing stop loss, anticipating some type of correction back down, maybe even that 0.005018 before we move higher. But when we're talking about this, we're talking about the longer term trend. You see that, how we're getting this really nice break now, guys, this change of trend overall in the macro sense. So that's what I want to bring to you today, guys. If you get something from this, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you ever want to help us out, we got some addresses in the description box. It's always appreciated. Take care, my friends.